Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's fourth and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's final video, day 10 will take us to the 4th of June. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the CFS and ECM Ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that will get us into the second half of June. I'll get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that first, a video release today was our 6 AM UK weather forecast. We've also released a weekend forecast and the third and final summer 2024 season model roundup that is ahead of tomorrow's GavsWeatherVids summer forecast reveal. So check out all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everybody for doing that. We only need to put on around 7 or 8 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.2k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be amazing and incredible. We thank you so much for doing that. And if you'd like to give a donation to GavsWeatherVids and help fund the channel and, you know, help pay for me to be able to sit here and do this for everybody, then you can go to GavsWeatherVids PayPal link. You can find the link to that in the description with this video. And, you know, just sign into your PayPal account and donate whatever amount you'd like to GavsWeatherVids. We'll give you a shout out in the videos, and that's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. If you don't want a shout out, we'll just say, you know, thank you to Anonymous, and you'll know who you are. You can also become a channel member for GavsWeatherVids by clicking the join button here. There we go. There's the join button. Click that and you can become a channel member for £4.99 a month. You get exclusive perks and content, including early access to Winter 2024-25 NEO forecast that's been released on the 30th of June. Channel members will get exclusive access to that on the 25th of June. That's how you get exclusive access to the NEO forecast. There are other perks included as well, like badges and whatnot. And you can also give us super thanks on the videos. All you need to do, and that is find the thanks button. There it is behind those 3 little dots, or underneath the video player there. And remember, you can super chat on the live streams as well. And all these different revenue streams are helping pay for the channel, helping to be able to pay for me being able to do this for everybody. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for getting involved, subscribing, sharing, liking, and also going that extra level, you know, to become channel members and whatnot. Thank you so much, everybody. Right, okay, let's crack on with the video then. So sorry everybody, we're going to start off with centering temperature. The CT is currently sitting at 14.2, which is 3 degrees above 61 to 1990 average, and that is provisional to yesterday, to the 24th of May. So again, very warm sort of first 3 weeks of the month. Got 1 more week to go, but we'll probably bring that down a little bit. That might drop down into the upper 13s, but I imagine it will be above the 13.6 that we recorded in 1992, I think. So it will certainly be the warmest warmest May of the modern era, I should say. So a very, very warm month, following on from what's been a really warm year so far. January CT at 4.7, not that excessive, but February at 7.8 was really warm. A very mild March as well, 8.1. Pretty mild. April 2, 9.6, and now again we see May at the moment at 14.2. That might drop to something like 13.8 maybe by the end of the month. It will be interesting to see where that comes in. Right, these are CFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. We're looking at Glasgow today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average. So sorry again, I believe the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Glasgow, and we're hovering close to average over the next week to 10 days actually, and even through the first week into second week of June. Not a particularly big deviation there with the upper air temperature, so they're looking pretty sort of solid, close to average, maybe at times a little bit above, a little bit below other times. However, you will notice the thick blue line, that is the GFS control room. And that really takes off and becomes quite a hot outlier late on. There are 1 or 2 hotter outliers appearing here through the first week or so of June. So I wouldn't wouldn't totally discount the chance of a warm up into the first week of June. But overall, it looks like we're staying quite close to average, and looks like we're going to stay quite unsettled as well. So the next final week of May, you're going to see further showers, if not longer spells of rain, and even into June. Well, perhaps have a drier few days here around the turn of the month. There might be a bit of a drier window opening up, but by the end of the first week into the second week of June, could be going more unsettled again, with further spells of rain to come then. Perhaps overall it does look very unsettled, that ensemble graph, I think, for Glasgow. Temperature anomalies from the 25th of May to 2nd of June around to a little bit below average. It's not a particularly big deviation, but it's slightly on the cooler side. And precipitation anomalies from the 25th of May, 2nd of June, they're coming out average, or actually rather wetter than normal in many places. So it could be quite a coolish and unsettled final week to May. Latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows we've got another area of low pressure waiting in the winds in the Atlantic. There's a further secondary low sitting in the southern North Sea, but it's this low that's going to be the main driver for the rest of the bank holiday weekend. We'll bring wet weather tonight and then showers and longer spells of rain through the remainder of the bank holiday weekend on Sunday and also on Monday too. Right, let's start going through the chart data then. This is how the latest UK Met Euro run is looking at midnight on Tuesday. Low pressure heading in from off the Atlantic. That will be bringing further wet weather through the middle part of the week. That low moves out into the North Sea on Thursday and Friday, with a ridge building out to the west. Winds turning into more of the north or northwesterly direction. So it starts to turn drier at the end of the week, but will be a little bit on the cool side with those northwesterly winds. By the time the sun's out, it's not going to feel too bad. The sun very, very powerful now. Of course, virtually at its highest point, it will be, in the sky now. A couple of weeks to go. Well, about 3 weeks, isn't it, to go until the longest day. So it's a very, very powerful sunshine, which means even with a northwesterly wind, when the sun's out, if you shelter from that breeze, it will feel pleasantly warm. But if you bring like cloud and showers through, you will feel a bit of a chill, and you'll most notice that northwesterly at night if skies are clear. And there could be some chilly nights next weekend, possibly even a touch of ground frost or grass frost in more rural areas in the north anyway. I can't again bring low pressure in the Atlantic on Tuesday. That will bring further showers and long spells of rain through the middle part of the week. That low pressure clears out into the North Sea on Thursday and Friday with a ridge building from the west. That should start to turn things drier at the end of the week and into the weekend, but will still be quite cool with that ridge of high pressure, particularly so at night. By day, again, in the June sunshine, won't feel too bad. The GFS midnight run is bringing low pressure in from the Atlantic on Tuesday with showers and long spells of rain, that lasting into Wednesday as well. Then we're into rather cool northwesterly winds through Thursday and into Friday. And then next weekend, high pressure ridges in from the Atlantic. Should settle things down. We should lose the showers, but will be a little bit on the cool side with both northeast winds. Where in the sunshine won't feel too bad, especially so in more western areas where winds will be light. So a relatively pleasant start to June there. However, by day 10, the high pressure pulling back out into the Atlantic again, and we drop a trough back here through days at 10 and 11, so it turns cool and unsettled again, actually, by the time you get through the day 11, which is the 5th of June. And then just looking rather cool and unsettled, really, as we go from the first week into the second week of June, with a trough of low pressure continuing there to bring further showers, if not longer spells of rain. GFS 6 then, once again, brings that low pressure in on Tuesday, with showers and longer spells of rain through the middle part of next week. Check out the weekend forecast to see what's happening next week with weather. The low pressure moves out into the North Sea through Thursday and Friday, with a ridge building out to the west. That should turn things drier at the end of the week and into the weekend, but it will be a little bit on the cool side again, with winds coming in from the north and from the northeast. Heading up toward day 10, that high pressure is maintained though, and we actually start getting quite a big ridge going with the GFS 6Z. So in complete contrast to the midnight run, which turns things cool and unsettled later on through the first week of June, GFS 6Z is actually relatively settled and quite warm. However, we do eventually start seeing low pressure drifting up from the south, so there is a gradual deterioration right at the end, something more unsettled. But out of the 2 runs, I think the GFS V2 is definitely settled and warmer of the 2 for the first week of June. If you're enjoying the video, please do like, share, subscribe. Make sure to show everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. And we thank you so much for doing that. Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, GM, again, with low pressure heading in from the Atlantic on Tuesday. That will bring unsettled conditions through the middle part of next week. Then we go into those rather cool and showery northwesterly winds into the second half of next week. Winds maintained from the north with the GM even into days 8, 9 and 10. So just generally saying quite cool and showery really up to day 10, which is the 4th of June there with the GM. Not a very inspiring run for anybody who wants warmer, drier weather. And then lastly, the ECM once more bringing low pressure in from the Atlantic on Tuesday with showers and along spells of rain. It's Wednesday, but low pressure heads off into North Sea through Thursday, turns wind into that northwesterly direction, rather cool and showery through the latter part of next week. And then into the first weekend of June, higher pressure ridging in from the southwest should bring a reasonable amount of dry weather. And around days 9 and 10, well, actually looks quite pleasant for the south, relatively dry and probably quite warm under that ridge there. However, we have got low pressure deepening again by day 10 to North Scotland. I expect if we could go on any further, which we can't, but if we could, we would probably find this low pressure dropping in from the northwest, a little bit like the GFS midnight run does. But there is a couple of reasonably dry and warm looking days there, certainly for the south. Might get the temperature into the low, maybe mid-20s Celsius in the southeast corner, perhaps for the start of June there. This should be precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Meteo.com. Now, in comes the wet weather across much of the country tonight. And then tomorrow, we're looking at big showers, spongy showers, then some thunderstorms mixed in. Bank holiday Monday, fewer showers, but there will still be showers around, especially in eastern regions, and more general rain patches into west later on. And then Tuesday looked quite unsettled with further wet weather coming in from the Atlantic. Then we're going to those northwesterly or northerly winds through the latter stages of next week. That brings showers particularly to the north and the east, but west and southwest probably a little bit drier. By day 10, we've got some showery bursts into far northwest, but this is on drier weather for a couple of days around days 9 and 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office. Gets us to the 4th of June. 16 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the north of Scotland and bringing the wind from off the Atlantic. So looking rather unsettled for the north, drier with this ridge down in the south. That includes the control and the operation run 12, though, with a stronger area of high pressure. That will bring mostly dry and probably quite warm weather. Another 12 with a nice ridge from the Atlantic up to northern parts of Europe. Again, there could be a lot of dry weather coming in with that, probably quite warm, winds in from the east there. And then we've got 11 with high pressure further north and northwest with low pressure to our south and east. And winds coming in more in an easterly direction. That could bring the wettest weather into more southern counties there. And then in 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. It will get us to the 9th of June. 21 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just to our east. That should bring a lot of dry and potentially quite warm weather with it. Winds coming up from the southeast. We have a 19 with low pressure to the north of Scotland, and that brings the wind in from west. So that will be more unsettled and a little bit cooler. And then 11 with high pressure out to the west of the country. A lot of dry weather, but could be a little bit on the cool side with winds in from a northwesterly direction. A range of options, quite a bit of uncertainty, isn't there, as we get into June about where things are going. CFS V2 finally beats a 500 millibar height and notch, breaking down into week periods. The first week period takes us from today, the 25th of May, through to the 31st. The next week we'll have high pressure to the northeast, and also, let's change the colour, out to the west, and a trough coming through a little bit like that. So, you know, a little bit more unsettled perhaps in the next week, but we might have anticipated. And that develops further into week 2, actually, with CFS. This is the 1st to the 7th of June. CFS now showing quite deep low pressure in across the country, so that's going to be cool and unsettled if that comes off. Week 3 will be the 8th to the 14th of June. Low pressure sinking southwards then through Biscay in Spain and Portugal. A ridge up to the northeast, winds coming in from more of an east or south-easterly direction. That brings the wettest weather into the south, could be quite warm. And then week 4 keeps it pretty mixed, pretty changeable. It's the 15th to 21st of June. Low pressure somewhere out to the west of the country. High pressure way to the northeast. So, you know, at the very least, it looks quite mixed, I would say, that CFS run for June. That gets us to the 21st, and, you know, looks a pretty mixed June there. But as we've seen from a shorter range models and the ensembles, you know, there is quite a bit of uncertainty for the first week of June about where things are going. So I think we've got to watch this space and see how it all develops. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. And thank you so much for doing that. As I say, if you'd like to give a donation through PayPal or become a channel member, then we explained in the first section of the video how you can go about doing that. I mean, thank you so much, everybody. It does help to pay for the channel and the content. So thank you so much. Right, I'll just tell you what's happening on the channel tomorrow. Around 6 AM UK weather forecast. There will be the summer 2024 forecast, the big one. They release at 10 AM tomorrow morning. And if all of that wasn't enough, we'll be live at 6 PM with our 10 to 14 day. And as it's a Sunday live stream, got to include some long range in that on Bank Holiday Monday. Again, we've got the UK weather forecast at 6 AM. And then we will have our next historic weather video. And that's going to be part 3 of the Back to the 60s series. So I shall see you over the rest of the weekend, either for one of our uploads or for our live tomorrow evening. But for this one, that's all for now. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.